It's time for Friday Fabulous Florida.
There is a gigantic alligator in my kitchen.
A look at the weirdest stories from our weirdest state.
A Florida man is arrested. It's Pasco County, Florida. He was fleeing a traffic stop, and once they actually stopped him, he realized he had to conceal illegal drugs, cocaine. And he decided to conceal that illegal stash by ingesting it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. 40-year-old Joel Craig Wallace was speeding on US 19. And Wallace refused to stop. There's a brief pursuit. It ended when he arrived at his residence there on Kibler Lane. That's such a lovely neighborhood. Before his arrest, Wallace ingested cocaine in an attempt to hide the drugs, according to troopers.
Ooh, it's a wild idea, but it just might work.
Well, you have, to be fair to Wallace, you have limited options. I mean, really, you know what I'm saying? So he was fleeing, eluding, and he still was possessing. And so they charged him with all of that. By the way, because he did ingest at that point, it was evidence, he gets a tampering with evidence charge thrown in. So there is that as well.
This can't be the mugshot, is it?
Yeah,
That's not.
Is that the mugshot?
There was no mugshot. This was the only photo they had in there.
Okay.
I'm not going to, it's not a booking photo, so technically we cannot rate it. I'm sorry, everyone. A Florida man removes 20 Burmese pythons from the Everglades. It was part of a contest. Ronald Kiger wins $10,000 in the Florida Python Challenge. It was a, there's so many people to thank. First, I want to thank my reptilian friends. Without you, I could never have won this award. It's the Florida Python Challenge, 10 days out there in the Everglades. And he removed 20 Burmese pythons. He gets $10,000. Representatives from the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission announcing his win Tuesday morning. They did it at a big meeting in Duck Key. He was last year's runner-up, so a lot of people were picking him to win it all this year, Kim. But he, this time, wins, and over 800 people were competing. 33 different states and Canada all have entrants. And this guy...
Is a pretty big contest. They go out and they kill these snakes, right? They go out and it's the way to cull the snake population there in the Everglades.
A contractor from South Florida Water Management District rattled the competition by almost tying Kiger this year. Donna Callell is her name. It's a woman. That's right. She won a $2,500 prize for catching 19 pythons.
Wow.
Yeah. It can be very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing, she said. Thank you, Commander Obvious. A big snake can definitely kill you, she says. If it gets around your neck, it could strangle you out. The longest snake caught in this competition measured at 9 feet, 11 inches.
No.
That's 3 meters for those of you who are, watching from other countries. A Florida man suspects a thief is trapped inside his Corvette. A suspected thief, caught trapped inside a Corvette by the car's owner. This is in Miami. Just happened this week. All of this stuff, all these stories are just days old. They still have the new smell. The footage recorded apparently shows the moment that this dude approached his car only to find a man trapped inside. You can hear the guy trapped saying, the owner came to the car. You can hear him saying, "My brother, this is not your car. This is my car." 33-year-old Ravish Rabindranat gestured for the owner to open the door, to which the owner said, "No, you can't get out. We're calling the cops."
I love it.
Yeah.
Here comes the police.
You picked the wrong car, my
You
friend.
did. It's like Knight Rider.
Yeah. It's an unconventional door mechanism, apparently, and the guy could not figure out how to work it. He was eventually freed from the car, and he was arrested, charged with burglary of an unoccupied conveyance. Oh, I love how they conveyance still.
Sayonara, sucker.
Sayonara, sucker. Florida
right.
woman attacks and throws steak knives at a man after leaving her at a bar. She was taken to jail after she attacked a guy with steak knives, also threw a bottle opener. This is at a Flagler County home last week in the Palm Coast region of Florida. Daylene Keller, 34, arrested on charges of aggravated battery. There's aggravated battery. She aggravated and aggravated. She was so aggravated that it aggregated. And then
She looks like
it
a
was
lady
battery.
she looks like a lady who's had enough.
She
She's
does.
had
She
enough.
looks angry. She doesn't look bad. I think she could soften that look and probably be very, very lovely. Why? What do you want to
They
give her?
do this to me all the time. I don't know what the hell they do it for.
They aggravate and then aggregate.
She looks both angry and sad at the same time. I'm going with a 7.5.
No, very nice. I like it. Yes. Deputies called out to a home regarding this woman, later identified as the woman we see, Keller, attacking a man. The victim, who called the cops, said that the incident started after he left her at a bar because he wanted to leave and she didn't want to leave. The two met up with each other later that night, and that's when deputies said that she grabbed 3 steak knives and a bottle opener and began attacking him. Now, you got to have 3 steak knives because if the first steak knife goes bad, you got the second steak knife. If that goes bad, you got the third one. The deputy said she threw a knife at him and he hid behind a chair. And when asked, when he tried to disarm her, apparently, she stabbed him in the forearm with a bottle opener.
Ooh.
Then threw 2 knives at him. So she did discharge all of her weaponry. And when he tried to run away, apparently one of those knives struck him in the back and in his ear.
Ooh.
When the cops got there, they found the man bleeding from 2 puncture wounds and a laceration. She was taken into custody, where she and booked into the Flagler County Jail. $13,000 is the bond. It's a brutal, brutal ride, Kim.
That doesn't seem like a very big bond for all the physical damage she did.
Well, I agree with you. She seems very doable, that bond, but I'm guessing that she's probably not able to come up with $13K too easily.
No.
You need the cash right away. But maybe you'll want to vote for her as we pick a favorite. And this is the list, to remind you. The guy who snorts cocaine to hide evidence after fleeing a traffic stop. The Florida man who removed 20 Burmese pythons from the Florida Everglades, winning a contest that he's always dreamt of winning. A Florida man suspected thief trapped inside the guy's Corvette. Let me out, he said. I'm not letting you out. I'm calling the cops, said the owner. And finally, the Florida woman throwing 3 steak knives and a bottle opener at her friend, the man who left her at a bar earlier that night. We don't want to pick a favorite, but the bylaws of the show do require it. What is leading in the chat, please, Albert?
I'm calling it trapped in theft. It's the guy who's trapped inside the car.
Oh, I would not have
stealing.
predicted that. Wow. I am
It
surprised
doesn't have
by
the
that.
usual favorites of Florida, but it is very Florida in itself, but it just doesn't have the classics in there.
Yeah. What about you, Kim? What do you pick as your favorite, please?
I'm going with the inside the car guy. Absolutely. I mean, it's poetic justice that he can't get out. I love it.
You're right.
Kim, how are you?
That's exactly
how hard
right.
is it? I've never been inside a Corvette, but how hard would it be to just unlock it from the inside? Maybe I don't know.
Apparently, it's pretty hard. It's
I
all
don't
the
know.
guy was trying to do for like a half hour.
It's
So,
complicated.
how hard could it be? Apparently,
owner
it's
of-
pretty hard. Yeah.
I love the owner of the car. I'm not gonna. He's like, "Can we let me out?" Nope.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
Letting you out is not part of the plan.
I'd like to think they're trying to hit the unlock from the inside, and he kept on hitting the lock from the outside. And they're doing a little dance until the cops.
Beep, beep.
Oh God, that's great. I really do love it. Well, how about, and so Albert, you picked the guy also trapped inside the car. What did you pick?
I kind of like the steak knife thrower. That was an all-time. It was a different looking booking photo. Right when I saw the booking photo, I'm like, this is great. And also, it takes some accuracy to throw some knives. So, like one door might have closed, like her criminal history might have opened, but she has a. She has a path. It might be a new career. She could be one of those.
You think she has a future as a
steak
steak knife thrower?
Steak knife thrower,
Albert, thank you.
That's really wild. Yeah. Well, I would pick because it's old school Florida. Guy on the run from the cops snorting all the cocaine down. I don't know. I just feel like that's just straight up Florida lawlessness. So that's my my favorite. If you have a favorite, it really looks like the incompetent car caper is, as Karen says, one that's leading the pack. I encourage you to leave it in the comments section. We do check them in replay, so you can leave them in YouTube, and we will hide and seek Corvette style. And we will check them out. Thank you, Albert, for another successful curation of Friday Fabulous Florida. That's it for this edition.
This has been Friday Fabulous Florida.
There is a gigantic alligator in my kitchen.
Y'all come back now here.
Hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell. You'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.